Hello, so let us look at the last part of the 2003 multiple choice questions without the calculator. So number 18, here it goes. We are looking at a G prime, has exactly two zeros, as you can see over here. And then if the domain of G is real and G is decreasing on which of the following intervals? The fact that G is decreasing, that means we are looking at G prime has to be less than 0. Where do you see that? From here to here. So -2 to 2 would have been our answer. Choice A. All right, let's look at number 19. A curve has slope of this value. Now, the fact that slope is this, that means we are looking at f prime is equal to 2x plus 3. Now, which of the following is an equation of this curve and passing through this point? That would be the initial value condition. So here we have f must be then x squared plus 3x. Now, all right, so let us look at this one. Then we have plus c over here. Now, but it has to satisfy this condition. So in place of x, I'm going to place 1. And in place of y, we're going to put 2. So 2 equals 1 squared plus 3 plus c. Then once you calculate this one, you will realize the c has to be -2. Therefore, our answer should be this one. All right, let's look at number 20. The fact that which of the following statement is true about f. So now how would you know that this is true? In order for you to evaluate this one, we have to realize that left-sided limit, one-sided limit, and the right side has to be equal to each other. Left-sided limit, that means when x is less than 3, so we are looking at this expression. And the right-side limit would have been, you can look into this expression. So to see this one, what's going to be happening is this. Limit of f of x as x approaches 3 from the right. Now, in fact, that has to be equal to the limit of the function as x approaches 3 from the left. To get this value, we are looking at the first one, so we have 3 plus 2. Is that in fact equal to from the right, which is 4 times 3. Oops. Minus 7. We get to realize that 5 is equal to 5, so we know that that's equal to each other. How about continuous? This continuity has to be represented by when the limit is equal to the value when x equals 3. The value, so this is equal to limit, but what is f of 3? F of 3 is in fact, right over here, we have to use the first one, which is equal to 5 once again. Since the f of 3 is equal to the limit as x approaches 3, we realize that it is also continuous. How about, is it differentiable? To check for differentiability, what we have to do is we have to find the derivative. What's the derivative of before and what's the derivative of after? When the derivative of before, f prime, will simply be here 1, taking the derivative of each side, and the other one is 4. Since these two are not equal to each other, so we cannot say that differentiable. So our answer has to be 1 and 2 only, which is choice D. All right, let's look at number 21. The second derivative of the function is given by in this way. All right. A point of inflection. Point of inflection means we have to have the change of concavity. That means we are looking at one right over here, one right here, but not this one, because before and after we have concavity that are positive. So therefore, A and O, which is choice A. All right, number 22. Notice that this is the graph of f prime. If f of x is equal to, if f of 0 is equal to 5, then what is f of 1? Now, in order to figure this one out, among many ways, what we can do is this: f prime of f of x dx from 0 to 1, because those are the two values which we are looking at in terms of x, has to be in fact equal to f of 1 minus f of 0. Now this is simply the area of the triangle, which means 1 by 6 divided by 2, which is equal to 3. F of 1 is what we're trying to figure it out. Minus f of 0 is equal to 5. Then by adding 5, we get to realize f of 1 must be equal to 8. And that becomes our answer. Now, how are we going to do this one? We have to use the fundamental theorem of calculus that tells us that x squared has to be placed in place of t, but don't forget about the chain rule. So we have to have sine of x squared to the third power times by the chain rule we have to take the derivative of x squared, which is 2x. Then this becomes our answer. So it has to have a 2x, that means it will be one of these two. X to the square to the third power, so 2 times 3 becomes 6. So therefore our answer is choice E. Number 24, let f be the function defined in this way. Which of the following is an equation of the line tangent to the graph of f when x equals -1? So let us try to find the derivative first. What is f prime of x? That's equal to, here we have 12 x squared minus 5. Now when you plug in -1, f prime of -1, you get to realize that we have positive 12 minus 5, which will be equal to 7. So we're looking at one of these 3 points. But the fact that a line is a tangent, that means not only they have the same slope, but also has to contain the particular point. What is f of -1? F of -1 is simply make the first term becomes -4, second term makes positive 5, and third term is already given as 3. So once you combine them, that becomes 4. So that means when you plug in -1, I'm expecting 4 back. So which one of them would be correct? In fact, that will be true for part C, right over here. That becomes our answer. When x equals -1, the result will be still 4. Alright, let's look at number 25. Now x of t, the position function is given in this way. A particle is at rest. How do I know if something is resting? That means v has to be equal to 0. So let's find out the v of t. V of t is simply taking the derivative of this one. We get 6t squared minus 42t squared and plus 72. What is common in all three? 6. So 6t squared minus 7t, actually taking the derivative, so there's no square, and then plus 12. This can be factored in a way that 6t minus 3 and t minus 4. That becomes our answer. That means when t equals 3 and 4, it will be at rest. What is the slope? That means we're looking for the f prime. So let's try to look into this. We can find the derivative of this one implicitly. So therefore, first one becomes 6y times y prime minus 4x equals, derivative of 6 becomes 0, and then minus 2 times the derivative of x times y. By the product rule, we end up getting xy prime plus y by itself. Alright, then let us plug in these two values. Y is equal to 2, x equals 3. That means here we have 6 times 2 y prime minus 4 times 3, which is equal to here negative 2 times 3y prime plus 2. Then here we have 12y prime minus 12, which is equal to negative 6y prime minus 4. Then we get to realize that 18y prime is equal to 8. So therefore y prime must be equal to 4 over 9. So 4 over 9, that means we're looking at choice B. Number 27, let f be the function defined in this way. And this one is the inverse function. We can see that by this symbol right over here. And g of 2 is equal to 1. Now we're looking for g prime of 2. That means in this case, first thing which we have to look at is find the corresponding points, because these are inverse functions. That means f of 1, when you switch x and y, f of 1 must be equal to 2. The fact that we are trying to find the derivative when x equals 2 on its inverse function, that's equal to. So g prime of 2 must be equal to 1 over reciprocal of the original function, whose x value would be corresponding to 2, which will be equal to f prime of 1. So what is f prime of x? Will be equal to 3x squared plus 1. So therefore, when you plug in 1, what do we end up getting? F prime of 1 becomes 3 plus 1, therefore which is equal to 4. This tells us that g prime of 2 must be equal to 1/4. Alright, last question from the first section. Let g be the twice differentiable function, so the first derivative is positive and second derivative is also positive. That means if I have to sketch it, second derivative is positive and first derivative is still positive. That means we are looking at this section over here. G of 4 is 12 and g of 5 is equal to 18 of the following, which will be possible for g of 6. The fact that it's curving up, that means it's increasing more and more. So then if I have to just write it up here, so 12, 18, and then something else. But increase between 12 and 18 was 6. The fact that it's increasing more rapidly, that means here the difference between 18 and the next value shouldn't be 6, but it's got to be more than that. If you have to be 6, then we end up getting 24. But since it has to be greater than that, as you can see, therefore 27 would have been the only possible choice. Alright, thank you, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.